Hey guys, if you have dope content to recommend, make sure you guys use the pinned comment to recommend stuff because that's where I look for when I'm circling back to comments to find things that people are suggesting. I'm saying it right at the start of the video because I see that people aren't really listening to the discussion. So I don't know how you can miss it now. Right at the front of the video. If you guys see me taking notes. Oh, this is the wrong notes. This is my life. just off on a tangent, right? I am so detailed when it comes to keeping my life organized because I have ADHD and it's a mess that I even have notes on my life, how I'm supposed to run things, what my goals are, et cetera, et cetera. And if you guys are into Spark, is it going to include my Spark thing? It doesn't matter. I just have it. And but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for my Warhammer content. So that's my book, Warhammer inventory. Jesus. Oh, here we are. Okay. All right. I even date it, so I know when the last time I actually made a change to it. Anyways, the Tau is my favorite group. The Orcs are my favorite group. Tau is second. Third, we're looking at the Sisters of Battle, and then fourth, we're looking at the Yanari. Who really could have been third, could have even been second if, from my understanding, their lore didn't start falling apart from TW's perspective. But we're just going to jump into this video. If you guys have recommendations, I will prefer like the longer ones. Like the time I'm recording right this, I got dressed. I'm waiting for Director Nasty to come through and do our group recording. So I'm like, oh, let me check out a video, you know? And then that's it.
CGI battles or old Gundam cartoons that are still slapping, giant robotic mechas in any format are very, very cool. So it's no surprise that Warhammer 40k is full of them. Every faction has their own version of a big metallic thing that can absolutely throw down. Yet for some reason there always just seems to be a big catch. For the Imperium, dreadnoughts are only piloted by extremely wounded and mutilated Astartes, whilst only dead Elder can pilot their Wraith units. Necron destroyers are generally insane, so it's refreshing to see the Tau once again coming in clutch with their common sense, making catch-free mechas that can seriously get shit done in a diverse cast of ways. I'm of course referring to the Tau Battlesuits. Today we'll go over the Tau Battlesuits, talking about what they are, when and why they were made, as well as some other fun facts about them.
I actually want to know about this too.
Type of Tau Battlesuit and what makes each model unique. Let's get into it. In a galaxy full of gigantic death bugs, roided up super soldiers, and fungus that can bench press a truck, short blue people with eyes that have piss-weak depth perception just aren't gonna cut it. Unless they have mechas. Which they do, so that's why they're still around. Unlike the other races who are all in decline, hence struggle to build new shit, the Tau have been joyfully mass producing and improving upon their mecha technology for many years now, creating legions of units that can stand up and even surpass some of the Tau's most obnoxious enemies. Need to blow up a bitch from 100 kilometers away? There's a battlesuit for that. Need to absolutely shred some Tyranid tits in close range combat? There's a battlesuit for that. Need to punch a space marine so hard that his head explodes just to shut up the Warhammer fans that say Tau can't melee?
Talk that down.
I'm not joking. More about the Omega Gauntlet later. But I'm getting ahead of myself. When and why did the battlesuit first appear? Well, as we know, up until relatively recently, with the rise of Commander Farsight as well as the Omega Gauntlet, the Tau despised melee combat. It was literally against their culture to engage in primitive hand-to-hand combat when they had laser, pulse, ion, and railgun technology. Can't really say I blame them. Hence the first Tau battlesuits, despite being arguably the most appropriate weapons of war for melee combat, were ironically designed to avoid it. By being mobile, agile, and packing a lot of firepower, Tau battlesuits could jump into combat, absolutely blow their load on your face, and then jump out of combat. The first prototype of
I love it, man, because you guys know what I was trying to show you earlier, right? What I was trying to show you earlier was YaBoyRocklee, and what do we got? We got your boxing profile and fighting style, the adaptive boxer puncher with tactical movement, fam. I'm not one by nature to stay up front and fight you. I do actually like the close range combat. I do want to get up, but I love to keep my distance, man. I'm not too strong, especially because I spar against people of different weight classes. It is what it is. It's just because I'm not an official fighter. But these really strong guys, that's laying it into you. I'm taking way too much damage. I'm trying to preserve myself. So anyways, I love that fighting style. And Out.
of a battlesuit was like Iron Man's Mark I. It was
No.
powerful and it achieved its design purpose, but it was slow and cumbersome. Hence, after years of research, the Tau created the T-Series. No,
I'm not a professional boxer, by the way. I box for health benefits and I just enjoy and we spar and stuff like that. But when I come across talking about boxing, don't ever think that I think that I'm some great fighter. I just enjoy it as a healthy way of staying active.
not that cringy corporate YouTube channel, which may as well just be an Indian offshoot of the platform. This T-Series was faster, stronger, and packed more of a punch, like the Iron Man Mark II. A big technological development that allowed the T-Series to exist were the innovations in the anti-gravitic motors, which were these things that helped make battlesuits better. However, there was still work to be done, and the T-Series operated entirely on fossil fuels. Hence, after a bit more tweaking, the V-Series was created, a further improved battlesuit that used nuclear fission instead of oil to power the mechas. Unfortunately, the V-Series leaked a bit of radiation, hence all the battlesuit pilots were getting cancer. But after a bit more tweaking, this problem was solved. The battlesuits were proving themselves time and time again in combat, hence the investment in them continued. It's important to note that the Tau aren't afraid of invention and innovation like the Imperium is, hence they were full steam ahead, eventually creating the modern-day X-series battlesuits after the invention of the repulsor jump jet technology, better anti-gravitic technology, and most importantly of all, the nanocrystalline alloy. If you don't know what any of that shit is or does, don't worry, neither do I. All you really need to know is that the alloy was more or less a Tau version of ceramite, making battlesuits equivalent to Astartes. As the Tau have encountered more diverse and deadly foes, they have created various X-series variants to help deal with all the shit that the galaxy keeps flinging at them. Before I go through each type of battlesuit, what does a Tau have to do to actually earn the right to pilot a mecha in battle? After all, this shit ain't cheap. Only Fire Warriors, which are the soldier class of Tau society, are allowed to use battlesuits. However, the Farside Enclaves has Earth caste members also in them, because the Farside Enclaves aren't a bunch of racist fucks. But in general, Fire Warriors must progress deep through their trial by fire, fuck me, GW needs to work on their naming conventions, to even be eligible to pilot the smaller stealth suits. From there, they must continually prove themselves to eventually be allowed to pilot the classic XV8 Crisis battlesuits, and only upon completing the second trial by fire would they be allowed to lead a battlesuit squad. If a Fire Warrior becomes enough of a legend, he may even be granted the use of expensive experimental weaponry for his battlesuit, hence allowing for unique battlesuits to pop up. So special characters don't just have to look like run-of-the-mill generic warriors. But yeah, just like most things in life, if you want to pilot a wannabe Gundam, you gotta get good. So what kind of battlesuits are there?
That makes
we don't
sense.
have much record about the shitty
not anyone can
T-series
fly
or even the
a
V-series
fighter jet.
battlesuits, but there are
Expensive.
plenty X-series to go around. First up is the XV02 Pilot Battlesuit. This suit is very unique, like only one has ever been made as far as I'm aware, as it's basically a normal set of armor that allows a Tau to directly interface with whatever vehicle he is piloting. This is very similar to how the Mechanicus Tech Priests do their shit. The Tau who uses this battlesuit, Long Strike, can literally become one with a ship that he's flying, hence he is an ace pilot. Next up is the significantly more common XV-15 stealth suit, which is a small yet high-tech mecha that allows the Tau piloting them to go invisible. These stealth teams will then...
I'm actually kind of surprised that things are so expensive there, because they work for the greater good, and you know, they're in the eastern part of the galaxy, so we kind of understand what they represent. So I feel like goods and items should be more cost productive for them. But then maybe not, because mankind uses slaves, and that makes things cheaper because you're not paying wages, you know, just giving them the bare minimum to survive. So arguably, mankind might actually build things cheaper because they have so much slaves and stuff. So I actually forget my entire point. It doesn't matter. I had to workshop it. And I was like, yeah, I don't, because of the way the universes are, I couldn't actually tell you which one is more economical. These people for the greater good shouldn't be working for things that are too expensive. They are in the eastern part of the galaxy. We kind of see some correlations, but the Imperial uses slavery.
Penetrate deep into the vulnerable orifices of the enemy territory. If the Tau are going to ambush you, sabotage you, or just shit in your cereal, chances are they'll be wearing a stealth suit when they do it. The XV-22 stealth suit is an experimental variant currently only used by a small handful of Tau commanders, as it is expensive and difficult to manufacture. The XV-15 stealth suit is actually in the process of being replaced by the newer and better XV-25 stealth suit. This is due to the fact that some Ultramarines were able to capture some XV-15s and uncover its weaknesses, hence making the Tau shit the bed enough to innovate a new suit, so there you go. There's also the XV-17 battlesuits that have fuck all lore, but apparently they're good at infiltrating, so yeah. Moving onwards, we have the XV-26 Vanguard Void Battlesuit, which accurately describes what this battlesuit does. It's designed for void warfare, mostly exploring space hulks. These void battlesuits contain a shitload of miniaturized technology, focused around the more close quarter combat nature of a space hulk. Finally, we have the first real mecha on this list, the XV-9 Crisis Battlesuit, which is the Ultramarine of battlesuits. Combining speed, strength, agility, and a shitload of firepower, the Crisis Battlesuits are carrying the team very hard when it comes to staying relevant on the galactic stage. This battlesuit has a shitload of variants, including the Iridium variant, which basically covers the cockpit of a crisis suit in a powerful Iridium alloy. This was made in response to the Imperium constantly just sniping battlesuit commanders with high caliber weaponry that could easily penetrate the suit's hulls. Then there is the XV-81 and the XV-84 variants, which only serve to add more firepower to the suit, such as a smart missile system and other cool sci-fi stuff. A much doper variant is the Enforcer Battlesuit, which is larger, faster, sleeker, and carries bigger guns. Basically better in every
means
way,
better.
hence only special Tau commanders can use these. The Cold Star variant has been modified for void warfare, so much more airtight. Next up is the XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit, which sacrifices mobility and agility for a shitload more firepower. Think of these as walking artillery pieces rather than battle mechas. After that, we have the XV-9 Hazard Battlesuit, which is basically just a better version of the Crisis Battlesuit. However, it's a lot harder to use, which has caused some of the Tau Zoomers disapprove of its more hipster design. The pinnacle of Tau stealth technology is the XV-95 Ghost Kill Battlesuit. Unlike normal stealth suits,
you know, one thing that's so obvious, and even though he's already talked about it, is the things, at least in the last 2 minutes when my brain clicked, they're all like heavy with guns. You know, because he talks about fighting from a distance, so like, duh. But like, yeah, they're all
to make quite a few sacrifices in order to remain camouflaged.
More so than
the Ghost
anything.
Kill is able to bring its whole arsenal to bear, whilst being even more stealthy. It can avoid nearly all senses, cannot be seen by the eye, and even when revealed, can't be locked onto. If you want to expose and pin a Ghost Kill down, it will launch a fuckload of flares and electronic pulses to throw you off, allowing it to escape or just...
Alright, folks. If the vibe is different from this point on, just know that I'm recording on a new, entirely different day, fam. Computer failed. It's been 24 hours of me trying to get this computer to work properly and like record. It just wouldn't work. I had to restore it to a new state because apparently there's a Windows update. That's the only thing I've done differently. And we're going to see if I can record without crashing. So there's that. Let's jump back into it. My bad.
Manufacturer. The XV-15 stealth suit is actually in the process of being replaced by the difficult to variant currently only used by a small handful. The XV-22 stealth suit is an experimental variant currently only used by a small handful of Tau commanders, as it is expensive and difficult to manufacture. The XV-15 stealth suit is actually in the process of being replaced by the newer and better XV-25 stealth suit. This is due to the fact that some Ultramarines were able to capture some XV-15s and uncover its weaknesses, hence making the Tau shit the bed enough to innovate a new suit, so there you go. There's also the XV-17 battlesuits that have fuck all lore, but apparently they're good at infiltrating, so yeah. Moving onwards, we have the XV-26 Vanguard Void Battlesuit, which accurately describes what this battlesuit does. It's designed for void warfare, mostly exploring space hulks. These void battlesuits contain a shitload of miniaturized technology, focused around the more close quarter combat nature of a space hulk. Finally, we have the first real mecha on this list, the XV-9 Crisis Battlesuit, which is the Ultramarine of battlesuits. Combining speed, strength, agility, and a shitload of firepower, the Crisis Battlesuits are carrying the team very hard when it comes to staying relevant on the galactic stage. This battlesuit has
a hard carry. Poor Tau.
Variants, including the Iridium variant, which basically covers the cockpit of a crisis suit in a powerful Iridium alloy. This was made in response to the Imperium constantly just sniping battlesuit commanders with high caliber weaponry that could easily penetrate the suit's hulls. Then there is...
Dang, that's kind of cheap. You know, that's the thing when you're a giant, is like you're a big target potentially. So sometimes like oh yeah, you big, but if your defense doesn't rise proportionately, you're just a sitting target. That's why I never like people that have the power to grow, but that's all they do is they just grow in size. I feel like unibeam through the chest, son, it's over.
There's the XV-81 and the XV-84 variants, which only serve to add more firepower to the suit, such as a smart missile system and other cool sci-fi stuff. A much doper variant is the Enforcer Battlesuit, which is larger, faster, sleeker, and carries bigger guns. Basically better in every way, hence only special Tau commanders can use these. The Cold Star variant has been modified for void warfare, so much more airtight. Next up is the XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit.
Void warfare. Void Warhammer definition. The void is a common term for outer space. Okay, so I have a story, and I use void as like how chaos is used here, where it's like it's a source of dark beings. So I wasn't even thinking that they're talking about void as in the void of space. Okay, that's why they said airtight just now. Was I? Oh, I lost my place. Give me a second. What's going on here? Yo, where was I? Where was I? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's not my fault. That's not my fault.
G'day, guys and gal. Whether it be
What? That's cheap. That's cheap. Why are you doing
G'day,
that?
guys and gal.
I got pretty far into the video. What? All right. My bad.
Next up is the XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit, which sacrifices mobility. Enforcer Battlesuit, which is larger, faster, sleeker, and that could easily penetrate the suit's hulls. Cool sci-fi stuff. A much doper variant is the Enforcer Battlesuit, which is larger, faster, sleeker, and carries bigger guns. Basically better in every way, hence only special Tau commanders can use these. The Cold Star variant has been modified for void warfare, so much more airtight. Next up is the XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit, which sacrifices mobility and agility for a shitload more firepower. Think of these as walking artillery pieces rather than battle mechas.
These look, I don't even know how to explain it. Their designs are often very square. You know what I mean? Very square designs. I don't have a problem with it, but it's just really sticking out how square designs be.
After that, we have the XV-9 Hazard Battlesuit, which is basically just a better version of the Crisis Battlesuit. However, it's a lot harder to use, which has caused some of the Tau Zoomers disapprove of its more hipster design. The pinnacle of Tau stealth technology.
The hipster designs are like that, and then the square designs are like the ones before. Am I true? I think I just caught it.
Is the XV-95 Ghost Keel Battlesuit.
Cool.
Unlike normal stealth suits,
cool.
which have to make quite a few sacrifices in order to remain camouflaged, the Ghost Keel is able to bring its whole arsenal to bear whilst being even more stealthy. It can avoid nearly all sensors, cannot be seen by the eye, and even when revealed, can't be locked onto. If you want to expose and pin a Ghost Keel down, it will launch a fuckload of flares and electronic pulses to throw you off, allowing it to escape or just straight up blow you to kingdom come. With its
It reminds me of a fighter jet, you know, with the flares. It can look like a beautiful light show.
Girthy cannons, not one to mess with. Another fan favorite, we now have the XV-104 Riptide Battlesuit.
Oh, that is
badass.
This
boy is a chungus and a half. Towering over the Crisis suits, the Riptides are the new playthings for the Tau Empire. The fact that this runs on a dark matter nova reactor should really spell how far the Tau technology has come, since they were using literal oil to run these things. A lot of Riptide suits, as well as their variants such as the Rivana and Uvrara, use new spicy weaponry. However, prototypes generally have a few bugs and glitches to sort out, just like how the Total War Warhammer 3 launched with a bunch of bugs that Total War Warhammer 2 spent years fixing. The Riptides are back to giving their pilots low-key cancer if they push them too hard. Ah well, what's a bit of cheeky cancer compared to holding off a horde of parasitic space dinosaurs?
Look at this beam. Is it a solid beam like a lightsaber? You can move it around and cut people? Or is it just... like a shot going at somebody. That is really cool. I feel like it's a shot going at people. I see others in the background while the Imperium is using bullets. Lame.
Next up is the KV-128 Storm Surge,
Oh, that's
belonging
cool.
to a new class
But
of
it has
battle
no
suits.
arms.
These being ballistic suits. This is a walking guns platform,
I got
acting a
it.
lot like the broadside battle suits, but much bigger.
A
They are the
walking
broadside
guns
equivalent,
platform.
but for the Riptides, if that makes sense. Like, fuck it, it doesn't matter. All you need to know is that this thing will one-shot you so bad that your parents will feel it years later. And finally,
I like terms like weapons platform, you know? This is, what do they call it? Guns platform. I like those kinds of terms for military.
the KX-139 Tauna Supremacy Armor.
God dang.
Holy shit, this thing slaps. It's the closest thing the Tau have to a Titan, and it is designed to wipe out Imperial Knights and smaller Titans. Like a
Nah, I actually gotta pause this one. The last design, I'm like, yo, we need arms, right? But this one, there's nine? No, there's more than that. Oh, first of all, look at this thing. Each arm can shoot 3 projectiles. So just from this arms alone, 6 projectiles are coming at you. On top of that, I don't know if this is surface to air weaponry or surface to surface weaponry. Back to those cool term weapon platforms. But the 3 cans at the top, while I'm fighting you, I'm also shooting anything in the air, or I'm going for range. Like I'm shooting armaments like way down. That's why I have these massive cannons. But also, there's just small little Gatling guns on top of it. And it additionally has rocket launchers. And remember how I told you how it has the 3 guns on each side? There is smaller guns around that. And there's something on the shoulder. I don't even know what's on the shoulder, fam. That's insane. I would love to hear the sound of that unit just in combat.
Titan, this thing is not very agile or mobile, which doesn't
Don't need
matter.
to be.
It's not designed to fight hectic fucking anime battles. It's designed to stand there and absolutely shred the ever-living shit out of the bad guys. Look at that triple cannon on its back. Living shit out of the bad guys. Look at that triple cannon on its back. God damn, dude. It seems like as time goes
It's
on,
really epic.
more of these ballistic K-series battlesuits are popping up. And I, for one, am keen to see the first ever genuine Tau Titan when the Mad Lads decide to put one together. I mentioned the Onaga Gauntlet before, which is a melee weapon variant for battlesuits, and I want to quickly talk about it. When Commander Farsight started vibing with melee combat, he commissioned the Earthcast to create power fists that could be attached to Crisis battlesuits. Hence, Farsight was no longer the only Tau that could melee. The Gauntlet stores a huge amount of potential energy, which is unleashed when it connects with its target, allowing Crisis battlesuits to punch through enemy tanks with ease. However, as melee is still against Tau belief, weapon variant for battlesuits, and I want to quickly talk about it. When Commander Farsight started vibing with melee combat, he commissioned the Earthcast to create power fists that could be attached to Crisis battlesuits. Hence, Farsight was no longer the only Tau that could melee. The Gauntlet stores a huge amount of potential energy, which is unleashed when it connects with its target, allowing Crisis battlesuits to punch through enemy tanks with ease. However, as melee is still against Tau beliefs, this effective weapon is pretty rare. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. For only $1 per month, give you access to a boatload of hentai, including, what do you know, big titty Tau girlfriend stuff. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more mecha content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Did they get Tau girls out of point? Well, is that just fan depiction? Because look, man, if y'all start showing me some hot Tau girls, I'm gonna move them up and replace my homies the orc. So I've had a lot of trouble recording this video. I've had constant shutdowns. You know, I'm gonna do my best to edit this. I usually don't edit it. It's usually just a clean shot, like, you know, a clean one shot, one take. That's the word I'm looking for. It's my bad today, and I had to still keep it with a smile while everything is burning around me, like, oh my God, constant. So I'm just gonna give the computer a wipe, and then call it a day. So thanks for watching. I'm drained now. Drained. Despite my stoic face, you just got to keep it small for YouTube, but computer's a mess. All right, guys. It's another video, another day. We learned something new, or at least I did. Thanks for watching with me. Subscribe.